Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys had a great last few days. I hope you got your Monday started off right. Monday is the beginning of the week for a lot of people, even though Sunday is the first day of the week. But Monday is the first day of the week for a lot of people because they go back to work on a traditional work week. And a lot of people for Monday, it's a struggle getting up and getting out because you didn't been off for the weekend, and now you gotta get up and get back to the normal routine. And so, but I try to take every day as a blessing and as it come, and try not to complain about that. Oh my goodness, today I gotta get up and work, right? Because thank God we work because we have to be able to make a way to live, right? And unfortunately, that is the way that this world is set up. You gotta work. You man that don't work, don't eat. And a woman that don't work, don't eat. We know we live in a patriarchal society based on that statement alone. When it says a man that don't work, don't eat. Well, now it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. You don't work, you don't eat. So we gotta work because we gotta eat, right? So I hope everybody is doing well. I just wanted to pop in. I'm almost to my destination this morning, but I wanted to pop in with you guys just to talk really quick. Nothing too heavy, but in reference to the Carmelo Anthony trial and some of the things going on and some of the correlations and connections, right? And so I posted this morning. Well, first yesterday, I posted Neek at night. Um, I've been posting and I showed on my community wall the woman that she's been involved in this back and forth with, and there are several bloggers of color who have had interactions with this woman as well. Apparently, people of color in general have issues in this town, and I think it is symbolic of what we are seeing happen in this trial and what people are trying to say what is happening to Carmelo Anthony. What happened to Carmelo the Anthony the day with Austin Metcalf is similar to the style that these people are using in this town. And so Neek was upset yesterday. She was crying. She felt intimidated. The woman, and I'm not gonna say her name because they're trying not to say her name, but I did post who it was for those who want to go and explore themselves. They are trying to focus on just covering the trial, but it's turning out to be something else, right? And we know we done seen them. They go when these bloggers go to these places, it always turns into something else. But I think this is a different something else than what they have encountered before, right? And so she was upset yesterday. The Black Panther Party over in Texas came to secure her to make sure that she could report okay. Her uncle has been with her as well, and she does have a few others with her. But the Black Panther Party came through for her yesterday in order to make sure that she was safe in her reporting. Yesterday, but she was upset, and she did a live. I just caught a little bit of it, and she was basically expressing how she was feeling, what happened, why she was when she got on the camera, she was still very overwhelmed, and she was saying that she felt she thought she was okay to get on live that first live that she got on, because she felt safe now that she had more people there protecting her. But she said that she thinks she got overwhelmed with the fact that the community came out, that they were the ones who provided the protection, because she went to the court about the harassment and the things that were happening, and they did not only not do anything but sided with this other woman. Um, and so um, she's made it clear and shown the harassment. Um, and this woman has been posting Neek, been posting pictures of her, been taking other people's commentary and attaching it to Neek in order to try to make her look worse than what, to make him not worse, but make her look bad. She's also been attacking Queen Sheba, but we've heard it not. It's kind of like impact Queen Sheba the same way. that it has had an effect on Neek, and it's because Neek has been in the courtroom every single day. Queen Sheba, they all have gone there and attempted to get in the courtroom, but there were a couple of days that Queen Sheba wasn't able to get into the courtroom. But Neek has been in the courtroom every single day of this trial so far. So it'll be interesting tomorrow to see, I mean, today to see if she makes it into the courtroom without issues, because today is expected to be the closing statements, right? And then the case will be in the hands of the jury. So the prosecution rests, the defense rests. There were no experts called. As a matter of fact, I think they tried to use these kids as the experts in this case, because they asked the kids, "Do you think that this was um, self-defense? Right? Do you believe that he was provoked? You know, who was the one who provoked the situation? Do you think that this was self-defense? Who was in the wrong? Right? These are all things that the jury should be coming to the conclusion about, but these kids have been repeatedly asked this. And a lot of the people in the courtroom who are trying to do honest reporting are saying that they have concerns for this case for Carmelo Anthony because of what's been allowed. They said that the defense attorneys haven't objected to much of anything that has gone on in the courtroom. And the reason why that is important is because objections preserve the record for appeal. And so I don't think that's the only thing that you need to do in order to be submit a successful appeal. But some of the things that have been mentioned by several bloggers who are credible and who we can rely on at least to tell us that much, right, have reported that they hardly have objected to anything. The family has been crying and over emotional in the courtroom. The judge has stated something saying that that would not be allowed in the courtroom, but I guess, apparent that it's not being uh, reprimanded, or nothing softly being spoken to stop it, or to do a recess, or to ask them to leave in order for these things not to have an overwhelming effect on the jury. And there are also some people who allege that Austin Metcalf's dad has been coaching some of the witnesses by gestures. And one independent media source reporter stated it, and also the law and crime representative that is there stated that these two individuals, they saw this because of the angle in which they were sitting. When they saw the witness on the stand, they could see Austin Metcalf's dad making certain gestures to the witness. So this is all of the things that are being reported out of the courtroom, of what's going on. And I think that what happened to Neek with this altercation and what she's been facing, because of the accuracy of her reporting and her trying to stay to the facts, Queen Sheba trying to stay to the facts. And then Gerald, listen. So this is why I'm here to y'all talk about Gerald. Lord have mercy. Gerald then went over to that courtroom and then cut up, okay? And the reason why it's none of this is a laughing matter, but to me with Gerald, it is funny because Gerald always trying to sue some damn body, right? So for y'all to know, he's had several lawsuits, but the latest one I remember is when he purchased this dog after he came from the Diddy trial, right? He purchased this dog from this, I don't know if it was an actual like place where they sell pets, or if it was like I don't think it was like a rescue. I think it was a place that actually sells dogs, not lost dogs or anything, but they just sell dogs. So he bought this dog, and the dog ended up, I think he said that the dog had worms. And from what I'm understanding, the dog was a puppy, right? And so they gave the dog some shots or whatever, and then the dog had worms, and then something else was going on with the dog. I don't know if something was really up with the dog or not. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because and anybody know this who had a dog, had a puppy, had to deal with dogs getting shots and stuff like that, part of the when they get the shots is if they have worms, like to get rid of them, so they will like have these worms coming out of their stool or whatever, initially. So it could have been just that, but Gerald is saying that this dog had some other kind of condition or something that was causing this to take place. I don't know. I guess we gotta wait and see what comes out in this lawsuit that he didn't got against these people. So he took the dog back to the people, and he wanted them to give him half of his money back because he was saying that like y'all sold him a sick dog. He didn't want to get rid of the dog. He wanted to keep the dog, but he wanted half of his money back because he said that they sold him a sick dog. Well, he was arguing with these people, and I don't know if the people said that they were going to put something out about him first, like to blemish his character because um of what he was alleging or what he had said to them, but some kind of way it was a threat amongst the both of them in order um to put something out. I don't know. He might have put something out first. I don't know, and then supposedly then they put something out about him, or I don't know. Whichever way it went, Gerald tried to sue these people, right, for this. And so Gerald is over at that courthouse, and he's being a normal jokester that he always is. And they are in line at the courthouse. Everybody's been describing the chaos at the courthouse trying to get in. And so he had a couple of this particular morning, it was sort of came a little rough start. And um he he was standing in the line. He said that for some reason they had sent like one of the black deputies back in order to try to, I guess, get the black people together, right? And the reason I'm mentioning this is because this is consistent with what we are seeing in this trial too, right? Most of the witnesses that they are calling in this trial, it has been said, and this is the reason that they say, oh, well, it's not about race. It's not about race. It's not about race. Because most of the witnesses that they have called in this trial have been boys of color, right? And Gerald said something important, even if people feel like he's over exaggerating. In this case, I think he is right. He said something important. He said that the white people always think they gonna send the black people to get the black people together, because then that way they can say, oh, well, it's not being racist, right? And so I guess they sent this black bailiff, and Gerald was making a joke and saying, go back, Massa, go back up there. Nobody want to talk to you. Just go back up there, Massa. And so then the someone came to get Gerald and said that the deputy wanted to talk to him, the African American deputy. And Gerald was like, no, I don't want to talk to him. And so when Gerald got to the door, the deputy was blocking and refusing entry and told him that he could not enter. And so, long story short, because I'm in my destination, Gerald is saying he's suing these people, y'all. And so now he at first he said he was going to stay there in McKinney because he was going to see if he can get some kind of emergency something, but for being denied access to the courthouse. But from what is being reported, he did decide that he was going back home. I looked on his page because Tears did let me know that he did get kicked out, and I couldn't see it, but I was able to find it on another content creators page. But I haven't seen Gerald post much. He made I think like 2 short videos, but I haven't seen him do anything else yet. So we're waiting to hear from Gerald, and I'm anticipating that we probably will hear something from him when this verdict comes down. But I just want to say this is the type of thing, the things that Gerald and Neek are facing are kind of small, much smaller problems to what Carmelo Anthony lived in. And also these witnesses that are of color who live in this town, who are made to feel that if a white person tells you to move somewhere, you better move. And if you don't move, you're the one provoking. And then if you provoke, and then and then something happens to you, and that's okay. It's okay that something happened to you because you provoked. But if you respond, then it will take you up to a first degree murder charge. And so or whatever first degree charge they can give you for assault in that state or in that county or whatever, because this is what you're expecting. You're expected that if a white person tells you to move, if a white person comes late to the courtroom but wants to get in and you're standing first in line, if a white person sends a black person to get you straight and you don't get straight, then you are the one in the wrong. This is what the culture is of this town. And so we can see why Austin and Hunter thought that Carmelo should have just left a very public area, where he was not now, where it was confirmed now that he was not under the canopy, but also that he asked to come and has sat in before and sat in several times, and that it was raining that particular day. And so all of his team, because they had no tent, was looking for some shelter. One of the boys gets on and talk about how they went in the dugout and the coach told them to leave the dugout. I don't know, like, what is this and what is this going on? These kids had no pace to go of their own. I'm starting to wonder, is it something out with Centennial High School and the ratio of their high school where those kids are treated like that? Another school came in and they said they had two tents, one for the boys, one for the girls. Where was the tent for this school, and why did they have no tent? And why wasn't it important to get them a tent? So this is what we looking at, y'all. I'm going in for the day. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all coming in and talk to me. We will be eagerly awaiting what they had to say for closing statements, and with whether or not we will get a verdict today. I am not anticipating that we won't get a guilty verdict, because considering the reporting from what's been happening to the reporters of color in that town, I can only imagine what the people of color who live in that town go through, and why they believe that it is the not the fault of the real aggressor, but that if you don't do as white people say, then you are going to be dealt with, and you should just accept it, and you shouldn't do anything to defend yourself. And if you defend yourself, God forbid, you are going to be held to the highest level letter of the law, and they are not going to care what the person did to aggress upon you in order for you to defend yourself, right? They're not going to care about that. They're going to admit that. Okay, they're going to get wipe that out of the record. So thanks, you guys. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I will hopefully talk to you guys soon. Have a good day.